This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
I'm a little scared of starting the work week with the present energy that is in the room. We've got a local hour here for the ages because the Knicks don't look strong enough, and somehow, the Florida Panthers locally, and if we did something outside the way Toronto did for a road game, we'd have 4 people there, and one of them would be Roy. Our region that doesn't care about hockey, and that region that cares so very deeply about hockey, and this is the best run they've had this century, and it's going to get extinguished by an 8 seed, that's playing laughably well. Last time Zaslow was on with us, he traded everybody. Traded all of the Panthers. So we've got Zaslow, but we'll get to that in a second. Yes. Just hold on, because the thing I'm worried about is we've got whatever Formula Juan was snorting all weekend at the Hard Rock. I'm scared of how Mike has come in here. He is debilitated. He has announced, I only have time for either the Panthers or the Heat. I'm too tired.
Come on.
One of them has to lose.
Come on, man. Come on,
One
man.
of them's gotta go. We can't keep up. And who invited the racers? Like, no more racing during playoffs. Please stop with the racing. You saw Verstappen won? That was a huge surprise.
Big surprise. Verstappen won. And I don't know if any of you had FOMO on Mike. I know Jessica did, because it was a giant party. It's Bezos, it's Elon Musk, it's every famous person in the world gravitating toward the fancy cars. But I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about two playoff teams locally. But before we get to that,
I played champagne pong with Cedric Gervais and Daniel Ricciardo.
See, this is the annoying thing that's going to happen all show. He's going to name drop all show. He's tired. He wants so badly to be a hobnobber. He just, I don't know who.
Oh, all the knobs are being hobbed.
I don't know what you did. He wants to be a player in this market, Zaz, and he's become a player in this market.
Yeah, it seems like.
I'm not a player. I just crush a lot.
He's making deals. I don't know whether it was him or the rest of the collective, but they just stole FSU's best basketball player. Matthew Cleveland's really good.
Yeah, he was all right. They didn't use him well, but he's good. It's a shame that we don't have an organized collective, though. Shut up, Barry Jackson.
Mike Ryan is a player in this community, but he's also, guys, do you think he's on some sort of drugs? Is he hung over? Is it just the intoxicant of being near?
I'm not on
Mike
anything.
looks great. Don't say that, Dan. Don't start
Thank
spreading
you,
those
Tony.
rumors. Guy looks like $1 million.
He won't let us see his eyes, man. Bloodshot? What are we doing?
Don't worry about his eyes.
Don't worry about my eyes. And I can tell you my system is totally clear, and that's because I had my stomach pumped at 3 a.m.
The fame has gone to his head, and before we get to all of it, because I can't believe Mike Ryan, who was already out on the Heat, I don't know if he's allowed back on.
I'm going to the game courtside.
He's been a Panther for life.
Club space, guys. It's a long story.
He has been a Panther for life.
Oh, yes.
There are very few people, I would say, in this market who can actually appreciate from the beginning. Mike worked for the Panthers. Roy was at their first games, and Zaslow.
I was their studio host for 2 years. I forget about that. I was their studio host for 2 years. Like, oh, yeah, that's right. The thing I did for the Heat for 13 years, I got 2 championship rings. I'm a championship broadcaster 2 times. I did the exact same thing for the Panthers. A little less success. But yes, I was a broadcaster for the Panthers for 2 years. I forget about that sometimes.
I was listening to the radio broadcast for a hot minute. And by the way, coincidentally, their play-by-play guy, Doug,
he's excellent.
Awesome.
He's excellent.
He's incredible.
He's excellent.
I only heard like 5 minutes of the guy. I'm like, holy.
Really? Like you're just hearing him for the first time?
Yeah, because I'm always at the games because I'm such a big Panther guy.
He's excellent.
Kevin Rogers is doing the hosting now.
I know. Well, now he's been doing it for like
really the
10
whole time?
years now.
The whole time?
Mike,
Yeah.
see,
I thought it was like 2010. I thought he was going to say
Zaslow.
Scratch Stints and Booth.
Zaslow, this is what's happened with Mike Ryan. He's now international playboy, big media guy.
Look at him.
He doesn't have time to check in with what's going on in local radio anymore.
It is really hot in this studio. We got to fix this.
Oh, aren't you excited? Look at me. I never wear. Can the cameras get this? I never wear jerseys, because I'm a grown up. But I'm wearing the jersey today.
But you're wearing a jersey.
Because I'm so excited. We haven't had this in 27 years. And it's not just the Panthers. We haven't had a mix of, we're in May, and it's the Panthers' fault. Both the Panthers and Heat are playing super meaningful playoff games. We've
As
never
eight
had
seeds.
this.
As eight seeds.
We've never had this because the only time the Panthers have ever even won a second round game, they won 3 of them right now, Dan. I don't know if you're paying attention. The only time they've ever won a second round game was in 1996.
You don't know if I'm paying attention?
I'm just making sure. I don't know
he
everything.
doesn't. He doesn't.
I don't know
attention,
everything.
Dan.
I'm just making sure.
He hasn't been out on these streets.
In
Like,
96.
when we were screaming Vokoun, he wasn't paying attention.
What about Jose Theodore? In 96, the Heat got swept out of the first round Riley's first year. That was the only other time the Panthers won a second round game. I don't know if you know this either. I lived my entire life down here, all right?
One of the reasons that I want you in here bouncing against.
Let him cook.
No, I want to let him cook, but I want you. I'm a little worried about you and the energy level this early on a Monday for the national audience. It's why I love that he's here, but I also do want to celebrate that we're in the middle. We're in the middle of it right now in a way that our town doesn't ever get to be.
We've never had this. That's the point. We've never, ever had these last 2 weeks. It's never, ever happened. These are really, look, we won championships. I'm a 2-time champion broadcaster. We won championships, but
Bro,
we've never had.
You're on right
we've
now.
never had a 2 weeks like we're experiencing right now. It's never happened. I'm so excited. Now, granted, in the third period of all these Panther games, I'm on the verge of projectoal vomit. All right, that's true.
But
once we win, I'm so happy.
But did you delight Sam Bennett going between his legs for the game?
They were critical of him in the studio after. I was not.
Should have been suspended.
It was so great. Would have been the greatest goal in Panthers history.
It was so cool. It was a great save. It was totally cool.
Yeah.
They were critical of him.
Yeah, Sam Benny resorted to thuggery game 2. Shouldn't have been out there game 3.
Yo, he's a hockey player.
He's
let
a villain.
Him play.
He embraced a villain role.
Well,
and
somebody
I love
has to
him
be
for it.
because Lomberg's out, so somebody's got to be like
well,
that guy.
they hate Kachuk, too.
Good.
What was interesting about last night was Kachuk didn't do much of anything.
He had a bunch of hits. That was his big thing. He had a bunch of hits.
Well, they've taken on his identity because they're a really aggressive, high-pressing, forechecking team. And early on...
Verhaeghe scored with his ass.
Early on, it seemed like Toronto kind of figured something out because
it's been the case for the last couple games.
Yeah.
We like get off from that haymaker they throw early.
Yeah, like I'm not this hockey expert. I watch all the games, but I don't know how to
You're
scout.
using the good terms, man. Forecheck, back.
Well, that's a key. But early on in that game, it looked like they'd figured something out with these stretch passes because I've heard it described on other podcasts that outside of Montour and Forsling, like the Panthers' defensive unit, and this includes Aaron Ekblad, is AHL level.
Ekblad's not this.
They are not special defenders whatsoever.
Although Ekblad passed, come on.
Yeah, clearly. So they had that stretch pass early on, and it's like, oh, direct play. They figured us out. And then it just stopped. I was listening to a Maple Leafs podcast this morning.
They're such chokers, the Maple Leafs. They're an embarrassment.
So before you get too carried away here, can you just tell me where? Because for me, the greatest delight in all of this, even though it's a great, fun Panther run, and I can't believe the ballsiness and just blowing up what you had before and having proven again and again, no, you got to play this way. You got to play this way. Yeah. I just want to enjoy with you guys for a moment the juxtaposition of how badly Toronto wanted Florida, chanting they wanted Florida because they didn't want Boston.
But again, it's like the option is 2.
I understand, but
they don't get to pick any team.
But Toronto historically cares deeply about hockey and always stinks and has been as bad as the Panthers the last 20 years. For them to want Florida, and the favorite part feeling for me is they care so much.
It's their life.
And this region doesn't care at all. Like there's the pocket, there's the niche.
Don't do that.
No,
he's right. I object to that, though.
No, as compared to Toronto. Like if we had a road game, how many people gather outside the arena to watch a road game?
You're right, but the part that I object to is, and it's the whole, the Northeast, they care so much more about sports in South Florida. There are plenty of people down here like I care just as much about the Panthers as all those people in that area, whatever they call it outside, those losers who have watched the Panthers win all 3 of these games. I care just as much about the Panthers as they do. There just aren't as many of me as there are of them.
Dan, you just don't have the pulse of Broward County. Broward County bleeds red and blue. The Florida Panthers are an obsession in Broward County right now, and everyone is talking about the Ice Caps.
That's why we're one territory.
I mean, you want to tell me, like you remember what 96 was like? People care here.
Forgive me. I misstated it, and I want to backtrack on what it is that I said because it was too absolute to say that nobody cares. Yes, Broward has always cared. They built it in the swamp out there because they knew those people. There are plenty of people who have cared for as long as Zaslow has and are thrilled that Goldstein climbed his way up to become the local legend broadcaster. So forgive me. Let me walk it back. Let me just walk it back for half a second because you're right. But I was comparing it to how Toronto cares and what they put, the scene outside of their arena to watch a game when they're down 2-0. Put us down 2-0 and see how many people show up outside arena to watch game 3 on the road.
It's too hot.
Way too hot.
Just going to be
Way
outside?
too hot. I mean, that's why Jalen Brunson's not playing well, because it's too hot.
Oh, my God. How about them cranking up the excuse machine?
That's
Get
not
the
them.
hell outta
That's
here.
Jalen Rose.
Jalen
That's
Rose, what
not-
are you doing?
That's not
This
them.
cannot stand.
That's not them.
The game was
cannot
outdoors?
stand. They play in an arena.
They're
It's
playing in a
ice cold in
playground?
there. What is that? I
Couple
have
of Jalen's
never,
cutting it up.
in all my life following the Miami Heat, have ever heard that bit of analysis. So congratulations, ESPN. You finally did something insightful that I've never heard of with your broadcast.
Come on.
What was that? What was? It's hot outside.
I didn't hear myself. I just heard it secondhand like you. It's hard to believe that was actually said.
It was. No, it was said seriously, and he was talking about how it drains you to be around.
What the hell is that?
Beijing seeped into that brain, man. I'm telling you.
It was air conditioned inside, but that's not the best story from Heat Knicks.
excited.
I do want to talk about Heat Knicks, but the best story, I believe, Mike missed a lot this weekend because he had to pick and choose what things he was going to be interested in. As you know, in Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny is ruling wrestling.
Oh,
and-
my God. Well, are we going to talk about WWE? Are we going to talk about Backlash?
Okay, we'll get to fake Zaslow going up against real Zaslow in a second. But the feud of the weekend that I think Mike Ryan has missed, John Hollinger wrote, ideal outcome for this series is if Heat advance, but their PA guy is eliminated, right? And Mike Biamonte comes at John Hollinger with a series of Molotov cocktails. Since I've been in this league for the last 32 seasons, you've been eliminated in plenty of jobs. I've been much better at my job than you have been in any of yours. Loser!
It's true.
Tengo mucha novia. Mucha novia.
Loser!
That was like the cherry on the sundae. You had to like that adds the oomph. It had to have the and it was like several exclamation points too. You got to have
But
the loser.
Biamonte is a nice man. Who's ever enraged Biamonte?
Oh, but this isn't the first time. Like this is a rather common playoff theme where like media like the Indiana Pacers media relation guy, that was a common thing with him where he wants Mike Biamonte to be fired. And then Biamonte responds on Twitter. It's kind of a yearly thing.
Mike, something that Zaz said right before we turned on the microphones with no sense of irony. Do you remember what it was?
I'm saying a lot of things, man.
Do you don't remember asking me, why does Stugotz not show up for work?
Why is he never here? Like, I text you even the other day. What did I text you the other day? I just write, where's Stugotz?
That's what I texted.
don't get it.
I literally text that every day too. So
I don't get it.
Samesies.
And I like seeing, I mean, look, I get it.
It's when the character becomes real.
I like seeing Stugotz. He hired me 19 years ago as a little boy. He interviewed me, you know? John Wiener, call this guy. He'll give you a job. And, like, I like seeing him. But I never get to see him because he's never here. Where is he?
Un selfie. Selfie. Un selfie. Selfie.
I don't get it. I like seeing him.
The show is revving a little high and hard here because it's maximum sports time, and I am confused as to where Stugotz is.
I'm not revving hard.
You've done too much this weekend. You were taking a lot of pictures that Shaq didn't want you taking. You were
That was dope.
you were in front of Shaq with a selfie, and Shaq was staring at you
Un selfie.
with
Selfie.
with menace. You had a crowd gather around you to watch WrestleMania on your phone.
No, it was Backlash.
No, it's not WrestleMania.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm such an idiot.
But
Yeah.
the crowd may have confused him. It looked like it.
It
but
was a hot crowd in San Juan, Puerto Rico, as one of our former presidents once said. Yeah, it was incredible. And so I was at the Shaq Red Bull party at Hard Rock at the Guitar. Man, that place is awesome. There's a pool.
They've
and
managed. They
gambling
have
and
that place has figured out
air supply.
how to be Vegas on a plane. It's so strange to even see. They used to be just little cigarette shops on a sandy street. There,
They still have that cigarette shop open as like an
No, but
homage
it's
to
just-
like
no,
look
but
how
it
far
used-
they came.
It used to be. I used to drive over there to high school, and there were 20 little shacks there selling cigarettes, and it was just sand. And now they have put out there I don't know if I'd call it an international resort, but people come from all over.
You know that because of the shutdown, Hard Rock in Tampa is the #1 revenue generator for a casino in the world. Macau would have been #1, but because of COVID and the shutdown, Hard Rock was #2. They went up to #1, and now #2 is Hard Rock in Hollywood, the most profit-generating casinos on the planet.
They built nothing like it anywhere in Miami. They built a city in the middle of the sand that's not unlike our equivalent of having Disney World in the middle of Orlando. It's in nowhere, and they've got a giant city there where parties. Well, you saw the world came down here this weekend. It was at the Hard Rock Stadium, which was turned into an international venue, and then this was Vegas this weekend.
I'm waiting for F1 Tallahassee and Gainesville. That's on the circuit, right? That's coming up. It's coming up. We need a tropical park stadium, I guess. Still, So I went to the Shack party after Saturday's qualies, which incredible qualies. The Leclerc did the spin out thing, and it was Verstappen was 9th, and everyone's like, "How is he going to win?" I'm like, "I've seen this movie before. He's going to win." So I go to the Shack thing, but it was raining and it was a pool party. So I go back to the open bar and I pop open Peacock and I watch Backlash.
Yeah,
and scores of folks are huddled around my cell phone watching the greatest entertainer maybe ever,
Bad
Bunny Baby. And he puts on an absolute show.
He's incredible.
He's the best celebrity to ever get in the squared circle.
He's incredible. I couldn't believe they look. All right. It was in Puerto Rico. They love him. He's like their god.
Dan, Puerto Ricans love Bad Bunny.
They love Bad Bunny.
Love Bad Bunny.
What is happening here?
It's Zaslow versus fake Zaslow. Mike has been studying this particular creature for many, many years. I am always here for a fake Zaslow versus Zaslow off.
Look, Bad Bunny gets it right, guys. Awesome.
Very over.
Very over.
Very over.
Very over.
I didn't know I cared about Bad Bunny until I saw all the Puerto Ricans there in that arena care that much about Bad Bunny. Then I cared about Bad Bunny.
I didn't know that I cared about Bad Bunny as much either. And I've seen him in concert. I've seen him wrestle before. But I would have died for Bad Bunny on Saturday night. I was so invested in all of that.
You've said this. This is the second time this week. You said you would have died for Kachuk, that you die for
Yeah.
Kachuk now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's because I'm living life very hard and fast right now. And
Who are the ones you would die for? Bad Bunny,
Bad
Kachuk,
Bunny, baby.
and Cody Zeller now.
yeah, so
We're all going to remember where we
keep
were
saying
when
Kachuk.
Cody Zeller ragdolled Julius Randle. We're all going to tell our kids about that one
Church
day, right?
shoes. Shout out to Church Shoes. I'd
Yeah.
die for Church Shoes.
It has never been more diluted than Cody Zeller starting a kerfuffle.
No, he's in. He knew how to get in
Culture.
our hearts.
Culture.
And he's like, I got to ragdoll this Julius Randle who thinks he's something, and now it's on. Like that. That's. I stood up out of my chair. I turned to my side. I go, Heat Knicks.
Yeah.
so diluted. It's so diluted.
What's so great is I'm learning about all these celebrities that care deeply about the New York Knicks because they're tweeting through it. And Ben Stiller's tweeting through it.
See you Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or it's the best he can do.
And I realized the other day, it's like...
See you Tuesday when the Heat are up 3-1 apparently to
Yeah.
play tonight.
Oh, let me tell you. We're winning today.
Oh,
there's
there's not any part of me that does not believe the Heat are not winning tonight.
Yeah. No, New York Knicks, bad team.
Oh, this is
Bad.
tonight.
They're-
It's
they're-
very bad news.
Can you imagine when they make those intros, and it's a later arriving crowd, and
Go on.
Michael B is there,
Go on.
Uptown Dale,
Go on.
Kelly Blanco,
Go on.
Crazy Andy with his deals. Is he still doing that shit?
Yes.
Crazy
Yes,
Andy still
yes,
got.
yes.
Great. What? Let me ask you a question. What makes Andy so crazy? He seems very.
He's giving it away.
He seems very put together every time I seen him on the monitor.
crazy if you're giving away this merch. It's crazy.
So everyone there, late arriving crowd, obviously.
Don't mention me. I'm not going tonight.
No. Oh,
I was there Saturday.
Heat Knicks.
Why aren't you going tonight?
Listen, I don't know if you're aware or not. Tickets are not free.
No, very expensive.
They're not free.
Spending
It's
a
very
lot
expensive.
Of money. That's another reason why I need one of these teams to lose. It's very expensive.
Very expensive.
Wait,
Super.
You guys don't like to do it as media people?
No. What?
I gotta be several drinks in.
Yeah, me
So
too.
when we get to like mid first quarter, I'm totally liquored
Pegged.
up.
Yeah, totally. I'm just drunk.
My
Like,
wife
people-
yelled at me at the game on Saturday.
Yeah, look, hey, you drunk? That's what I want to be tonight. I want to be visibly drunk to everyone around me. Like, oh, is this guy gonna vomit?
It's what
That's
you
I
were
want.
all weekend, and
Yeah.
it's all moving too fast.
Yeah. Oh, back to the Bad Bunny thing. So scores of people surrounding my cell phone as we're waiting for DJ Diesel, and everyone's super into it. They're all cheering.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny's got the kendo sticks out
wild.
there, and Bad Bunny, victorious. Spoiler alert. Great. By the way, Damian
won.
Priest, strap a rocket to him. That guy's got it. And this Canadian gentleman looks at me dead in my eye. He was hovering over the phone the entire time. Hadn't watched wrestling in 20 years, and he's like, "That was incredible.
Yeah, it
Are,
was.
are you Puerto Rican?" I looked at him. I put my glasses down. I'm like, "Tonight, we all are."
Tony, we have in today because the train has derailed some people, so Billy hasn't gotten in and Jessica can't get in. Jessica had major FOMO being at a wedding in Baltimore instead of what was happening down here in Miami. Chris Cody has been derailed by a train as well. So we've got Jeremy, Tony, Mike Ryan, and Zaslow.
Yep.
Izzy Gutierrez will be here in a little bit. But Tony, I thought of you because they told me, I saw the video, that in Puerto Rico, one of the wrestlers threw a chancleta.
Yes.
I mean, it's the ultimate finishing move, Dan. There's nothing else that you could do in Puerto Rico.
No, but that wasn't the finishing move. Like, they wasted
That's because
it.
It was the
WWE doesn't know
opening
what they're
move.
doing. That's the problem. That they
The
don't know what they're doing. That's the
chancleta has
finisher.
to end the match.
Exactly.
Like, it has to be the finishing move.
No, the chancleta sets the tone
No,
of the match.
no, Zaslow, trust
Gave
me.
her a chance.
The chancleta never sets the tone. It only sets the tone at the end because that's when your mom says, "Yeah."
The
That's it.
chancleta is a finisher.
was a good throw, too.
But it's a finisher. You can't just throw it gratuitously. To me, that felt like culturally wrong. They were pandering, but they did not
very
do it
offensive.
That tells
successfully.
me WWE has zero Hispanics, no Puerto Ricanos, no
Appropriation.
Cubanos, no nobody.
She's literally Puerto Rican.
No,
That's
but
why
the
she
people
threw
that
it.
set up the fake matches,
It
or whatever
has
you guys
to
do,
end
no,
the match.
it's not fake. You're fake. Don't say that.
It has
You're
to,
an adult, Zaslow.
It has to end the match. It's got to be the finisher. The chancleta has. There's not something after the chancleta.
Zelina's not beating Rhea Ripley. Come on, you guys very clearly don't watch.
Chancleta means you go to your room after. That's it.
Mike, if you're in Puerto Rico,
Ripley's twice her size. She's not losing.
Mike, if you're in Puerto Rico
SmackDown Women's
and you want
Champion.
to pander correctly, which is what the chancleta's emergence
Oh, there was a lot of pandering on that show. It was great.
If you're going to go maximum, try to reach Puerto Ricans with Bad Bunny, the chancleta has to be a finisher.
Yeah, but again, Zelina Vega is not beating Rhea Ripley. What are we talking about here? It's just
So then
like,
make
you
it.
guys-
It's fake. So then make it that she beats
no,
her.
no,
you're
you're fake.
Mike was doing that all weekend at Hard Rock, checking his phone, and he can't keep up with everything that's going on in sports down here. Which team are you rooting for to lose now, Mike? Because you came in
It's
saying
gotta be the Heat. Heat's gotta lose.
No,
Heat's gotta
no,
lose.
no, no.
Never
Heat's gotta
welcome
lose
back.
because those games are too late. Those games, especially, at least Panthers, they have the decency to puck drop at 6:30. So that's all right.
that's
but
so washed.
what?
So washed that you can't stay up.
I don't want the Heat to lose. Look, I'm gonna power through. I'm just.
What time's tonight? I don't even know what
They're
time
not
is tonight.
playing the
7:30.
10 p.m. games,
It's a
Mike.
I don't
7:30
know.
game.
They're not
Why
playing
has TNT been down here since Thursday?
Kenny
Why
Smith,
wouldn't they?
TNT and TMZ. Kenny Smith
Kenny
photographed
Smith, I
on
was
the
not familiar with your game.
Kenny Smith TMZ.
I have to apologize. I was not familiar with your game.
The
Kenny.
Jet.
How many celebrities were in town? Musk and Bezos were both by the pits.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise was there.
Tom Cruise. Yeah, he finished third.
What was happening here this week? And it's too much. Mike is telling you that the Vegas pool party in the middle.
You know who else was there that I saw on the broadcast? Witty.
Oh my God.
Witty. Witty, look me in my eyes. Screw you.
Yeah,
Witty,
I'm with
how
him.
are you
Yes.
using residual
Yes.
Metal Arc
Yes.
resources
Yes.
to get your way into the paddock? And
Yes.
you see, look around.
Yes.
I could have used you.
Yeah.
I could have used your help today.
Yeah.
And you know what? I asked him, hey, come in. You know what he told me? I got a thing. He said, I got a thing.
Last time-
Why would you come in?
Didn't even care enough to
doesn't
tell me
work
what
here.
the thing was.
Last time you called him, he was on a yacht. Whitty has gone full blown, use Meadowlark to slingshot you into the sky. You're in the paddock right now. Nobody can get enough of you. You're in the center of the party wearing slacks and a belt up to your nipples.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Oh, Patrick Mahomes was there again. You see that?
He's been everywhere.
No, it was Paulo. It was Paulo Banchero. They finally got it right. Yeah, no, he's like, oh yeah, no, he
He
capitulated.
thanked him for learning his name this year.
Yeah, I'm honored, deeply honored that you know my name now.
No, but Mike, Mahomes has done Met Gala. He did Kentucky Derby, and he did F1. Like, he's just jetting around.
Who does this guy think he is? Me?
In what condition are you, Zaslow?
Dude, I'm so excited. Like I told you, I'm on the verge of projectile vomit every third period. But then they get like the lead goal. I'm hugging my son. I'm jumping around the room. Like I said, man, we've never had these last 2 weeks that we just had. I'm wearing a Panther jersey, even though I'm an adult. I'm so and here's the best thing: the way that they scored the winning goal in overtime. You saw how Reinhardt scored that goal, right?
Yes.
You saw he scored
Rhino.
that goal. The most disrespectful way you could score a goal. He put the puck right underneath the goalie's penis to win 3-0.
That's how it happened.
That's so disrespectful to
5-0.
score with the puck right underneath the penis to go up 3-0.
If you are a longtime listener in the South Florida market, going back to the days of 790 beginning, when Zaslow was an intern, call screening for Boog, and is now a local broadcasting legend, you know that in South Florida, with Mike Ryan and Zaslow, you have 20 years of Panthers service. And now you got a Johnny-come-lately and Jeremy Taché and Anthony Kaladiud, and they're learning a little bit about what real wars are, real playoff Knicks Heat wars that when you guys were toddlers. And I am excited for you guys to be in the middle of this because you are local broadcasting legends who have cared about this team for these teams for a long time, and we've been covering sports this entire century, without getting the feeling that is both these teams doing something like this because the Panthers have been bad for so long.
Seen a lot of bad hockey. To
So
talk myself
much.
so much into Stephen Weiss. There's so many we got to build around Bouwmeester conversations.
So many years of being 6 points out of the last playoff spot.
God.
So many
I,
years.
I deserve this, and I
That's
understand.
I'm glad you said that.
We
Like, I'm
deserve
happy
it.
for fans, but you know what? Like, I deserve this. I'm happy for
You
myself.
do. Look at you. Look at Zaslow right now.
Look at me.
Look at him. He looks ridiculous.
A fountain of youth.
He looks like he
Yeah.
looks awful.
Morning radio did this to him. Zaslow used to be a young man.
No
and
one in my life has aged as rapidly
life
as
got
Jonathan
life
Zaslow.
got a hold of him, and it dragged him around, and here he is standing by the Heat side, by the Panther side, and
Adam Sandler would look at him and be like, "Ooh, what are you wearing?"
That's why I deserve this. They both teams simultaneously. They owe me this. Look at what you did. Look at me.
I you not that if I saw Zaslow in 2004, he'd be wearing the same outfit.
It's the same. He's not grown up at all. He is a broadcaster.
It looks like a take your kid to work day. But like there's something a little wrong with the kid, and we're like, oh this is very nice for Dan. He's doing a very nice thing.
But a Daytona legend. A pink Daytona legend.
Yeah. You look like you're in from spring break, and you go to Belmont.
I got and you know this. Like, I got the old logo. It's the old
logo.
We know.
I wore this in '96 in Miami Arena.
So I went to F1 and I was wearing a Panther hat, and
you.
all 7 of us were out there that also like F1 and Florida Panthers. And so the Panthers fans, all 7 of us, hey, nice hat. Let the rats rain down. Like, they were like really weird. There was one guy that I thought he was like in a Shakespearean
I've
play.
never heard that phrase. Let the rats rain down.
Yeah. Let the rats rain down. Like, it was very weird.
Did you see who beat the drum to open up the game yesterday in the FLA Live Arena?
No.
Udonis Haslem.
Oh, really? Yeah, he was there. Gabe Vincent was there.
Haywood Highsmith was there.
Oh, that's who that was.
UD was rocking the Anthony Duclair jersey.
Mike doesn't know half the Heat roster. He really is.
Highsmith, wingspan.
He's a Juan come lately with the Miami Heat. It's been embarrassing. He doesn't.
The Panthers have this speakeasy that's very exclusive. They took over one of the suites, and I guess this was new for All-Star. It was awesome.
And what is that? Like you're just hanging out? It's like an open bar situation?
Shane McMahon was there on
Really?
crutches. Yeah, he was there.
Zaz, he traded Bam last week.
But he's
Oh,
been
so-
trading Bam for years.
Yeah,
though,
trade
right?
Bam though. Still,
come
it's
on.
forever trade Bam. Forever.
Okay, I mean,
Enough.
look, their defense.
guts.
This is happening
with
to
you.
the Knicks. Mitchell
You'll be
Robinson.
with me. In one bad game, you'll be with me.
Mike, Mitchell Robinson dominated a Cleveland front line. He's done nothing in this series. Bam is a
You know why? Because he's Mitchell Robinson. Because like it's the craziest thing. I see these celebrities. Oh, how can they stop Mitchell Robinson? I literally learned that guy's name 2 weeks ago.
He was in the dunk contest.
He was, what? Oh, the dunk contest?
Mike,
the dunk contest?
Come on.
My bad.
He decimated the Cleveland front line.
Go ahead. Who won the dunk contest? I dare you. It's just you're gonna
Mike,
say white guy.
Mike.
You're gonna say white guy because you already forgot his name. Who won the dunk contest?
It's McClung. It's the guy with the giant.
What's his first name?
Ears. Mac.
Yeah.
Well done.
With a question mark.
Mac
we'll take
with a
it.
question mark. That's correct.
Okay. What's your point?
It's a dunk contest.
The point is he wants to trade Bam.
No, because it's Mitchell. My point is it's Mitchell
Mike,
Robinson.
here they are again. Devin Booker and Jimmy Butler are the best two players in the playoffs. Efficiency's off the charts. You see what happens in the postseason to players who are just okay? Randall happens. He'll look inefficient now.
That guy stinks.
Jimmy is 10 points a game better than he was during the regular season.
That guy's good.
And he's guarding everybody. He's guarding everybody, and you're watching it. You're a Knicks fan, and you're like, oh, Brunson can't do that.
They're
those
fighting
things.
underneath the basket, and he's dancing on the floor.
Because he knows he's better than these people. The Knicks don't have a star.
How
They've
badass.
got Randall gets worse in the playoffs as their lead guy. You can't trust that.
How badass was Game 2 in retrospect with Jimmy just like laughing?
Oh yeah, that's
It's
how
just-
you knew. Oh
Give-
yeah,
put it in the montage.
You gonna learn in Miami. You gonna learn.
What?
What was that?
What? Are you in the Wendy Williams
you
crowd
don't-
right now?
I don't
What's
know.
happening?
I don't know what he was just doing there.
Gonna
I
learn
don't
tonight.
I don't know. I don't know. It feels racist. Whatever
it
he's
didn't
doing.
feel good. It did not feel correct. I feel we're going to need an apology from from Daytona
just apologize.
Zaz. Daytona Zaz got a little too relaxed because he's
G-O-N' learn.
Gosh, Heat fans have enjoyed Jimmy Butler's posturing so much, but what are you going to do when he's 35 a game and efficiently, when it's hard to get baskets in the postseason? And the Knicks can look at that. Look,
They're saying put in Fournier. That's what they're saying. Fournier minutes.
I
dare
forgot he was on
say.
the team until I look at the bench and I'm like, oh, Evan Fournier's there.
You know
oh,
who's
Derrick
there?
Rose is there.
Derrick Rose is there
Yeah.
as a player.
Yo, Knicks are gonna be so shook when the Heat are up 18-5 and Thibodeau calls timeout tonight.
You know what's coming. And you know what I'm going to say? Better call that timeout.
You don't know what to do. You better call timeout. Talk it over.
Better.
Better
That's
call
one,
timeout.
Yeah, that's when I make better one syllable. Burr.
Mike, I'd like to ask you, of all the feelings of a weekend that you snorted in South Florida, Jeremy was in the locker room actually doing reporting, so I want to get to what it is that he saw in the Heat locker room. But you, did you have a better feeling anywhere in your sport's heart than Marcus Smart's jumper being a little bit late and being waved off? Is your sports passion as great
I didn't
as
see that.
your
I'm learning. Who won that game? No, I swear to God, someone
Sixers.
tell me.
The
Sixers?
Sixers won,
Oh,
yeah.
good. Make that long series. We won a long series there.
Mike, it was overtime. Harden was great. You didn't.
I'm being honest. I'm not going to BS my. How could
Mike,
I watch that
but
game?
Mike, just
Let me
look-
ask you.
but
I
just-
was at
Mike,
Formula
listen,
One, and I
Mike,
had to get to
listen.
a 6:30 puck drop.
Mike,
How am I going to watch that
Mike,
game?
Listen, you're talking about an important game that you would have cared about 2 seasons ago. LeBron spoiled you some, and now Jimmy has spoiled you some more, because that was an excellent game that the Sixers won in overtime. And at the end of the game, because a 34-year-old coach did not call timeout, they did not get off a shot in time. On the road,
where's his
and
press
Marcus
conference?
Smart made the three-pointer, but it was just late because they didn't call timeout.
That sounds crazy.
Don't you want to know who the Heat are going to beat next round?
Look, don't shame me for not watching that. I was busy being a great South Florida sports fan. I was busy going to Formula One and going to the Panther game. One of the things that's going to be left off my plate is the other basketball teams that do not matter in my mind. I don't understand why I'm getting so much crap right now. I really don't. How could I watch that game? How? Tell me.
Mike, you're at the bar. You don't watch the actual races. You're at the bar.
You
watch Baboni on your phone.
I got to watch Cedric Gervais.
You were watching wrestling on your phone. You can't have two
The
phones.
signal isn't great, guys. I got to get a new
Can I ask you, though, a serious question? Like, can you be, like you mentioned, 34-year-old Joe Mazzulla, can you chastise the media and then not get a shot off in overtime when you decided not to call a timeout?
Let's talk about those game-to-game adjustments again, Joe, before you mic drop.
Let's talk about 2 playoff series where Grayson Allen is taking a shot too late that he doesn't have, and
that got him fired, huh?
and Spo or Strus is telling you guys that Spo said that he was confused by the lack of a timeout call.
Great interview. Great question.
But Jeremy, you were in the locker room. You were in the locker room yesterday, and what? What was in there?
I want to paint a visual for you guys. Right after the game, you've got Heat players all over the place talking to different members of the media because you have the national media, the local media, everybody's spread out. So right after a couple of interviews, I'm set to walk into the Heat locker room. It's myself and a number of camera people and producers. We walk into the locker room, and all you hear is just a little bit of drums playing. Little R&B is starting. You look around the locker room, there's one person in there. Jimmy Butler, sitting, leaning his back up against his locker while sitting on the floor, legs spread out, ice on his knees, sipping on a beer, bobbing his head to Strokin' by Clarence Carter.
Wow.
It was the most unbelievable visual.
Look at my hand. I'm shaking right now.
Literally
But
shaking.
that's an alcohol withdrawal.
It was so badass to walk in and just see Jimmy Butler there by himself, and that's exactly what he's doing. Every time the word stroking, he just goes, stroking. It was sensational. That's the energy that's happening in the Heat locker room, and as every player walks in afterward, he just gives them a little head nod. You know what's up.
He's a maniac. He's a legitimate
He is.
maniac.
He's a maniac.
It's not going to end well, but he's incredible.
It's performance art. What's amazing about him is the entire thing. He's going out there and performing at that level on the floor, but off the floor, he knows that he's just an artist, and it's amazing.
What the hell is happening around here?
Apparently the Sixers won last night.